and welcome to Travel Explore Celebrate Life with Veena World. We are your hosts Neil Patil and Sunila Patil. Well, last week we discussed Antarctica, the seventh continent. But for this episode, we decided to come back to incredible India. We decided to talk about certain places that we should really go to this winter, or maybe not even this winter, because when you're traveling in India, you don't really need a visa. So that means you can decide today and travel tomorrow. So that's why this episode is about the best places that you should see in Incredible India this season, this winter, and over the next months. That is from September, October, November, and December up until January. Now, of course, there are many places that you also know of. But what we've done is that we've tried to cover many new places on this episode so that you also know, apart from the mainstream places, what are the offbeat places that we can do, and who else to discuss that with my host Sunila, with my co-host Sunila Patil, because she's been to almost all of the countries in the world and almost all of the states in the world. So Sunila, this is a time where the weather all across incredible India is amazing. The rains are receding, the cold starts setting in, and all of that. So where should we start? Where should we start this episode of Travel Explore Celebrate Life?
Neil, like you rightly said, this is really the best time to travel in India. And if you see, like historically, also people, foreigners who come to India, they like to come during this time. And of course, they are doing like 15, 20-day trips, or maybe even a trip for an entire month. And they try and see as much of India as they can during this time. And sometimes I always wonder that, maybe we just take our country for granted and we don't really see it as much as we should. We are lucky we live here, so we can actually plan our holidays really well. And I think let's start off with, how do you plan your holidays within India? Like when you're traveling to India, how do you plan it? Because we feel like we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it next year, and then the next year becomes the next year. And there are so many new attractions across India. Like if you remember, we did one episode about Kerala and the new attractions there. We did so many other different episodes on India as well. And every time I go back and I read about India, you see that there's history, there's culture, there's excellent food, and we are so lucky that India really is like many countries within a country, right? That's always how I describe it to people when I meet them, from other countries. That I said, the thing is, we are really spoiled for choice, because when you change a state, the language changes, food changes, things to see change, things to do change. So in that sense, we are actually really lucky that we can visit and discover all these different aspects of India. So there's just so much to do here. And one of the favorite destinations and states, which is like a no-brainer, and the first thing that comes to mind when you think of traveling to India is, of course, Rajasthan. And like you saw, a lot of our own colleagues, when we had the special tours, the Dhamal tours for our colleagues to go and visit, places in India, I saw people going back to Rajasthan again and again. And Pranoti, our marketing head, she's also gone there. And asked her, you just went there last year. And she said, yeah, but I think I want to go to Jodhpur and Jaisalmer again. And she has some beautiful reels, and her stories are so amazing. So I think Rajasthan is a place you can discover again and again and again. I think you yourself have been there so many times, Neil, right?
Yeah, like I've just kept going to Jodhpur, Udaipur, Jaipur, and because Rajasthan has its own charm. But of course, this is a no-brainer that we were going to mention Rajasthan on this episode. And as a result, of course, let's mention Rajasthan, one of the most majestic states in India. But apart from Rajasthan, or after someone has been to Rajasthan, sometimes it gets to you that, okay, I don't want to go to Rajasthan for another couple of years now. I want to visit other parts of India. And like you rightly said, India has so much to offer. And India like ticks off so many different themes. Say, for example, someone wants a beach holiday, India has it. Someone wants a food holiday, India has it. Someone wants like a handicrafts and artifacts holiday, India has it.
Yes.
Someone wants to just go have sweets somewhere, India has it. Someone wants to go on a spiritual tour, India has it. Someone wants to go on a wellness and yoga retreat, India has it. So basically, whether you're a history buff, a movie buff, a culture buff, a food buff, or anything, India offers you something. So, of course, Rajasthan is on everyone's list. But I want to know from you what are some of the newer places that are on your list that you might be going to this year, next year, or something like
Yeah.
that, which we should definitely bring in this episode?
Yeah, Neil. So I'm going to start with something that's on my mind, and it's been on my mind for so long, I can't tell you. So I finally booked my own holiday there. And I'm going there during Diwali, just after Diwali, for a 3-4 day break, a short break, because I don't have too much time, but that's the best part of India. You can take a short break, you can take a long break. You can be out for 3 nights, you can be out for a week, you can be out for 15 days as well. And yeah, you're right. We are looking for newer places. So it's an irony because these places are not really new. They have been there for years. I mean, India has a lot of history. So all of these places are studded with these fascinating palaces and forts which go back to so many years and even before that. So one such place that comes to my mind and where I've booked my own holiday is Madhya Pradesh. And I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to it. Because Neil, if you do you remember that advertisement they had a few years back which said Hindustan ka dil dekho, and
Hmm.
really it's the beating heart of India in that sense, very centrally located in India, so you can reach from anywhere. It has two of the cleanest cities in India, Indore and Bhopal, and Indore we've done an episode on that too. Repeatedly comes back as the cleanest city, and who doesn't want to travel to a clean place on a holiday, right?
Yeah.
So that's again something I'm really looking forward to. It also has a lot of UNESCO heritage world sites. So UNESCO World Heritage sites. I think about 5 UNESCO sites are in Madhya Pradesh. It has the tigers for you. So if you want a safari, you can go there for a safari as well. Some of the best safari places are in MP. It also has spirituality because most of our very famous temples and the ancient cities of Ujjain is also in MP. Some fascinating monuments like Khajuraho are also in MP, and then Jabalpur. And when I mentioned spirituality, Omkareshwar, Mahakaleshwar, all these temples. And by the way, we've done an episode on this in Travel Qatar Marathi episode where Sagar Chachar, our tour manager, he's given such fabulous information about this place. It's really amazing. So that is also in NP. So after that,
But see,
natural
let
beauty.
me stop you
Uh-huh.
there. So
Yeah.
yesterday, my Instagram story quiz, I do quizzes on my personal
Right.
Instagram
Right.
every day, right? Was
Right.
what is the capital of Madhya Pradesh?
Okay.
Indore. The four options were Indore, Bhopal,
Uh-huh.
Jabalpur, and Gwalior.
And what did people come up with?
Huh? Of course,
What did people
you know
ask?
the right answer, that the right
Yeah.
answer is Bhopal, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so many
Uh-huh.
people chose Indore because
Wow. Because
it's
it's
used
maybe
very
just,
interchangeably, right?
yeah.
So yeah.
It's like many people outside India think Mumbai is the capital because, Mumbai is just spoken about more than, I guess, so there's this thing of economic capital or political
Yeah,
capital,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I guess in the same way, Indore is
So
really popular. So
okay,
yes.
like deviating very much. Today's
Mhm.
question on my Instagram is, where are the 2028 Olympic Games going to be held?
Oh, wow.
What,
Okay.
where do you know the answer?
I think I
I'll
read.
no, you can't Google it. Like I can see you on video. You can't Google it. Okay, I'll give you four
No,
options. I'll
no,
give
no.
you four options. I'll give you
Okay,
four.
okay.
Paris, Rome,
Mhm.
LA, Tokyo.
It's Tokyo, I think, because Paris is next year.
No, so
So
Tokyo
it's
was last time.
no, Tokyo was
Paris
last time. Paris is next
next.
next year. So
So you're
2024.
left with two: Rome
LA
and
and
LA.
what did you say?
Rome and
Rome.
LA.
Rome sounds very I don't know, doesn't sound right. So probably is LA. I don't
Yeah,
know, maybe
that's
I'm
correct.
wrong. Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. Rome sounds
No,
like you go
it's
back to
called
see
it's
the.
called LA 2028.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because I read
Yeah,
somewhere that preparations are on, but I think that was Winter Olympics
yeah,
because it
yeah, yeah.
was something else. Yeah.
Oh well, let's
Oh,
leave the
okay.
quiz
Cool.
aside, but let's come back to the heart of India, Madhya Pradesh. So yeah,
Right.
you mentioned a lot of those places, Indore, Bhopal,
I'm not
Maheshwar, and all
yet
of that.
done, Neil,
So
but you can,
you
yeah,
were on
summarize.
national parks when I cut you off. So like I'll let you continue.
Right. So you have the national parks, you have Bandhavgarh, some amazing national parks there. And the whole beauty of being in a national park is that along with the chance to see the royal tigers, you can see so many other species, like so many birds and so many other animals out there. And now there is like a plethora of resorts and jungle lodges that you can stay in also, right? And I
Yeah.
think you're also going off on one of your holidays, which is planned to a national park. So it's about time that we give the safaris in India their importance as well, I think. Okay, MP, the other thing, what else do you need on a holiday? You need something that is stunningly beautiful, natural beauty. Okay. So how about a mountain of marble? I mean, a mountain that is made of marble, and you're taking a cruise through it. So Beda Ghat in MP is exactly just that, and you have some fascinating, some beautiful the Duandar waterfalls there,
Mm.
and then you have Beda Ghat with the marble temples, marble mountains. Sorry, not temples, the mountains. So you're taking a boat ride, you're taking a ropeway up, and you're seeing these falls. So I feel it just ticks off everything that you would want to. And then there's Gwalior with its beautiful palaces, its beautiful forts, and then there's Orcha with its history and the beautiful architecture. So you could just keep going on, and then Pachmari is the hill station, so you can even go out there and have a really nice school holiday. So in some ways I feel, Neil, MP is so huge and so big that you have to really plan it. Like if you want to do a tour that covers all of MP, then make sure you have enough time, like even with our tours, if you look at the Veena World website, there are so many different tours. We have an Indore, Ujjain, Mandu. Then we have a women's special and a senior special in that. We have a best of Madhya Pradesh, a wonders of Madhya Pradesh, and a all of Madhya Pradesh. So we have the longest tour of MP. Neil, do you remember how long is our longest tour?
Longest tour of only MP, you say?
Yeah, only MP.
Is it 13 days?
It's 17
15,
days.
17 days, yes.
13 days is Wonders of Madhya Pradesh and
I
17
got
days.
confused
So
in.
yeah, no, and plus you mentioned the road trips, right? Last time you mentioned the two road trips that we have, and even in your newsletters. So they also, of course, will have to cross through MP because it is right in the center of India. But yeah, this is a state that you can really get off on a long, nice, beautiful holiday and tick off every place in MP. So I
So,
I, I think it's
I'll pick
amazing.
up two things from there. One is
Mhm.
the place called Maheshwar.
Yes.
Now, if you read my newsletter this week,
Yeah.
uh, Maheshwar is like a secret Bollywood film location because,
Yeah.
of course, it has its temples, it has the
Mm.
Palace of Fort, but many movies have been shot there. Like,
Mm.
more recently, of course, Kalank was shot there. Nirja, some scenes were shot there. But if you remember the Salman Khan movie Dabang 3, the title
Mm.
sequence of that also was shot there. So Maheshwar has always been that sort of a place where people tend to go just to, like get an idea of how these movies were
Yeah.
shot and all
Yeah.
of these things. So that was one. Second one, Dhuadar Falls.
Yeah.
Like, of course, Dhuadar, if you translate
Yeah.
into English, means smoke like.
Smoke like.
So everyone knows that the Narmada River is often
Mm.
known as the lifeline of Madhya Pradesh.
Mm.
And what really happened was, as the river was navigating through all of these narrow gorges and
Mm.
everything, at the place where Dhuadar waterfalls are there, it encountered a very sharp descent, creating like a
Mm.
sudden drop. And that drop is about 30 meters, right?
Wow.
So the water, which was generally calm, now
Mm.
found itself like rushing through like this drop. And if
Mm.
you just Google a photo of Dhuadar waterfalls or Dhuadar falls, you
Mm.
can see
Mm.
that the water's coming, 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 calm, calm, calm. And suddenly there's
Mm.
like this drop which creates like this frothy looking waterfall, which is very
Mm.
different to all of the other waterfalls that you'll definitely see all across like all across the world, I would say. And when you think about waterfalls in India,
Mm.
I think this is one that should be on someone's bucket list just because of how unique it is to all of the other waterfalls that are there. And of course, these have been used by the literary artists of India in many
Yeah.
poems and writings and everything. So
Mm.
that's quite a unique thing. And you often get like, these small souvenirs or mementos that, you can take back because these are very unique falls. So now we've discussed Madhya Pradesh, right?
Neil, I
Now,
want to go back to Maheshwar and I'm going to tell you
okay.
all about it because that's exactly where I will be in November. So once I'm back, I'm sure I have more stories. But Maheshwar also is the place to do a bit of shopping if you love shopping. Who doesn't like that? Because the saris are named after the place. So the saris that come from there are
Oh,
known as
that's
Maheshwari
why they are.
saris. Yes. That's why they are named Maheshwari saris. So the local artisans, and I think, we travel all across the world and we often pick up some small souvenirs. We pick up things that are probably not even made there, right? You end up
Yeah.
picking up so many things which are made in some other place. But if you can visit somewhere and you see the locals and you can support them in some way, it's not just like an act of benevolence. You're actually getting something great to use and something beautiful that is made there. And Maheshwari saris are one such things which are so elegant. So you can go there, you can see the weaving process, you can see how they are weaving the saris, and you can come back with some beautiful saris from there. So Maheshwar is also famous for that.
Nice story.
Yeah.
From the heart of India, which side should we go? North, south, east, west?
I think I'm just going to follow the trips that I'm going to be taking this year for
I think that's a
winter.
good idea.
And yeah, of course, I'm going to Greece next month. But after that, in February, I'm actually going to a place I love to go again and again, again and again, because it is one such God's own country in India, Kerala, Neil. And the best part
Nice.
of Kerala is that, again, like you said, like Rajasthan and like the rest of India, there's always something new to discover.
Hmm.
Now, when I started traveling to Kerala, somehow I did not have the opportunity to do like a full tour of Kerala. And every time I've gone, I've discovered one part and come back. So I've gone to the backwaters and done Alapi and Kumarakam and back. And then I've gone to Cochin many times for work. And again in October, I'm going for one such reason. But I'm thinking now I'll go to Munnar and I'll go to the tea estates. And I really want to experience the whole coffee and tea culture out there. Probably stay in a tea estate if I can, or stay in some place like that. But do Munnar in detail. I've been to Wayanad on a separate tour as well, and I think
Let
that's
me
a
let me cut you there.
yeah, yeah.
Wayanad has
Mhm.
India's longest zip line.
Wow,
So I
wow,
mean, just like came
wow.
across that. So ziplining, I was doing a Know the Unknown episode on it. How
Uh-huh.
did we start ziplining, right? So
Uh-huh.
ziplining was used as two different origins. One was in the Himalayas when the Sherpas were used to use
Uh-huh.
long lines to
Not for
get
adventure, but for
yeah,
necessity, right?
exactly. And in the
Yeah,
United States,
yeah,
there was the clothes line, right? So
right.
like you have the clothes, you're hanging on them.
Yeah,
So kids used to like put things. So someone, it just
ah,
struck someone ki, okay, we can use this as an adventure activity.
mm,
So in Wayanad, across the the tea plantations, you
mhm.
can do the longest zip line. And Heta and I have actually done that. So
Wow.
yeah, so
Okay.
that's one interesting thing. But yeah, let continue.
Yeah, so you remember we were speaking about new things to do, right? You're looking for newer experiences. Now, I have never seen Jatayu Nature Park. We did,
Hmm.
I think we did an entire episode on that, or we mentioned that in one of our Kerala episodes as well. And something so amazing has come up in India. So on the one hand, we have our history and culture, and on the other hand, we often see these being turned into some beautiful monuments that you can go and visit right now. So when you travel, it doesn't have to be just to go and relax as well. You can actually go and see new things in India now. And Jatayu Nature Center in Kerala is one such place, which I think is an absolute must do if you're going anywhere near that side. There is one more thing I've never done, which I
But
want to
you're
do.
you're mentioning Jatayu Earth Center. Do you know the
Uh-huh.
story?
I Which story are you talking
The
about? The
story,
story of Jatayu or the story of how Jatayu was the Earth Center came about?
I would say either one. What story do you know?
Well, we spoke about it, Neil.
Yeah.
Jatayu was the bird who fought valiantly to save Sita as
Yes.
Ravana was transporting her to take her to Sri Lanka at that point. And on the way when he was going, Jatayu really fought for her. And this is the place where he fell down, is what they say. And then
Yeah.
Rama came there and he found him. And I think it's a beautiful way to bring mythological stories into real life, which is what you see at the Nature Center, right?
Yeah. And listeners, if you can Google it as we speak right now, just Google Jatayu Earth Center, because this is a monument that is unlike any other monument that you'll find in India. It's carved out of rock, is astonishing, is an astonishing 200 feet long, 150 feet wide, 70 feet tall. It is the largest bird sculpture in the world.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to go there to actually know how big this is. And it's amazing. There's a cable car ride that you can take over there. There's you can do rock climbing, rappelling, and all of that. So I just interrupted you there because I just wanted to emphasize how Jatayu Earth Center is a very unknown thing that people don't often know about. And decently on our Veena World website, we launched a new feature where someone can go to the search bar and type in the sightseeing place that they want to go to, and we list down all of the tours that have that sightseeing place. So if you want to search for Jatayu Earth Center, we list down all of the tours that have Jatayu Earth Center. If you want to go to the Colosseum in Rome, you can list down put the name Colosseum or the word Colosseum, and it'll show you all of the places, all of the tours that have Colosseum in it. So yes, I quite agree with you that, if you're doing a trip to Kerala, this should definitely be on your bucket list.
I think that's a great way to search for something, right? Because many
Yeah,
times you're not sure of, which tour do I want, but you're sure of what I want to see. So I think it's a
exactly.
fabulous way of searching and reaching where you are. So now I was telling you, when you're talking of Kerala, one more thing that's on my bucket list for Kerala, which I haven't done, which probably has to come next time, is to actually stay in a houseboat. So I've never been, I've done a day trip, but not on the houseboat. And like, if you look at our best of Kerala tours, one night is on the houseboat. So I think
Yeah.
that's a great way. And I was thinking of Kerala, Neil, if you think of it, again, Kerala has everything in that sense. There is so much variety, even in one state. Like, you have the backwaters, and then you have the houseboat. You have Munnar, which is your, the tea estates and the tea
Yeah.
gardens. You have Periyar, which is again like a wildlife sanctuary. So you can do that. You have the spice village, so you can see how spices are made, and all of those things that happen there. You have Varkala, where actually the beach is beautiful. So, usually you would love to go take a dip in the beach and enjoy the beach, right? So in Varkala, they also have the Papasnanam beach, which
Okay.
means that the Papasanam, and Pap is whatever your sins, and it's believed that you take a dip in the waters here and it will wash away all your sins. So not only are you having a great time on the beach, you're actually washing away your sins out here. So I think Kerala has a mix of so many things. And then of course Cochin with its attractions and its fabulous food. Like, you cannot go to Kerala and come back without the coconut, whatever oil, or banana chips, or
Everything is
then
made in coconut oil. Like
everything
I
is
was
coconut
having
oil.
tomato soup, and the croutons were also made in coconut oil, and you could
Yeah,
smell them. Or you could taste the coconut
yeah,
oil in
yeah,
in them. But Sunila,
yeah,
you mentioned the houseboats of Kerala.
yeah.
They're known as the Kettuvalam.
Yes.
And like you said, that you can actually, like, all of these houseboats have now transformed into like floating hotels and all of that,
Yeah,
and you'll find them in the backwaters, which is like the network of lagoons and lakes and rivers.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
places that you actually find these houseboats are Alleppey, Kumarakam,
Mm,
Kollam, Cochin, or Kochi, as it's called, and Kottayam.
mm,
And
yeah.
yes, I quite agree with you that, people often think that a houseboat means that the water will be choppy.
Mm,
Will I be able to really stay in a houseboat? But this is in the backwaters. So, listener, you have to
mm,
realize that the waters in the backwaters are surprisingly calm, or like super
yeah,
calm. You'll
yeah.
just not experience water. So the only time it moves a little bit, and when I say little bit, it's like
Mm,
just a little bit, is when a boat passes through, or a small fishing boat is passing through. But that also is very, very, very small. So yeah, I think, and I'm quite surprised that you haven't done all of these places, because yeah.
I've done it in bits and parts. So I
Hmm.
have gone to Wayanad. I've gone to Athirapalli. I have been to Munnar. Sorry,
Hmm.
not Munnar. Munnar is pending. I've been to Cochin, of course, many times. So I've done the backwaters, I've done the tree houses and the coffee plantations, but the tea estates are pending and the houseboat is pending because, Neil, I was busy traveling across 75 countries around the world. So it's
Sure.
about time I discover India a little bit more. So that is completely on my bucket list for this year and the next. And I won't leave any chance. So we were speaking of doing something new every time you go back to the state, right? So it's not like you're in India and you've been to Kerala, so you can't go again. You've probably I just mentioned I've been there like so many times, but I've not been able to see so many things. Similarly, I think many people might have missed out on Bekal. And Bekal is one of the beautiful areas of Kerala, which also has Bekal Fort. Plus, it's by the beach. It's just amazing. And Bekal Fort and Neeleshwar nearby, again with the backwater experiences. It's a different part of Kerala and really offers you different things to do. So definitely there's always going to be something you haven't discovered on your earlier trip. And you can get there. So Bekal, Kannur, that whole area is something to be discovered as well.
So, if you notice, we are like 20 or 25 minutes into the episode. We've discussed only 2 states or 3 states if you include Rajasthan.
Yeah.
Now, from there, wherever you may want to go to, you can think of that. But
I know exactly
no,
the place, but I'll
no,
let you speak.
but
Yes.
but can I include one place
Of
in
course.
between?
Of course.
Pondicherry.
Oh, yes. And I would go there back in a heartbeat, Neil, but just for the fact that the last time I went to Pondicherry, I spent more than, I think, a week out there. So, I think I've had my fill of Pondicherry. My heart is full with Pondicherry and Auroville. So that's the only reason I probably wouldn't mention it. But yes, Pondicherry is just amazing.
Because
Just amazing.
like it's something else, right? Like, you have Oroville there, and
Yes.
at the same time you have the beach.
You
You
have
have,
Mahabalipuram. So the best
yeah.
place, the way to do it is when you're starting from Chennai. On the way, you can do the temples of Mahabalipuram, and our Prime Minister was also there at that point, and you can see. And I was really pleasantly surprised when I reached Mahabalipuram, Neil, to get an entrance to go and see the sites. Everything is digital. So you just have to scan, and then you have to pay for your entrance fees, and then you can enter the place. You must have a guide when you go there because they just bring the whole thing to life. So
Yeah.
Pondicherry and Mahabalipuram is like a golden combination because in Mahabalipuram you get your share of the sites, the monuments, and the temples of Mahabalipuram. There is that very sweet one big rock, and they call it Krishna's butter ball because it looks like it's just hanging there. And you keep looking at that stone and wondering, how is it balancing? Like, what is this? How does this happen? And shore temples for me have a special place in my heart because somehow a temple by the seashore is very appealing with the beach, with the waters, and with the temples out there. It's really stunning. So Mahabalipuram actually has a lot of the Mahabharata stories.
Mm-hmm.
When you go there, you see caves with carvings that tell you about Arjuna's penance, Krishna's butterball, very lot of references. But if you think of history, they say that there's no way the Mahabharata could have taken place down there or out there. But the people who financed it were fascinated with Mahabharata, and that's how the stories came to life in the temples in Mahabalipuram, is what they say. So, yeah, when you're going, you can start off from Chennai to Kanchipuram, Mahabalipuram, reach Pondicherry. And Pondicherry, of course, are little French town. So the town is divided into the white town or the French town and then the Indian town. I thought the cafes here were fantastic. The food here was great. And it's so pretty. And for me, again, something which you get used to when you live in Mumbai is that if it's the beach, it has to be a sunset. And then when it's Pondicherry, it's the sunrise. So at 6 in the morning, the city is buzzing because I realized and I was in Vietnam now, and I realized that when you're on the East Coast and the sun is rising, you naturally wake up early. You can't sleep. You cannot sleep beyond a point because the sun is up before you can think of, and the whole city, the whole place comes alive much earlier than what happens in the West.
Mm-hmm.
So the busiest time on the Pondicherry promenade is actually 6 in the morning. If you go there by afternoon or evening, you'll hardly see people. But in the morning, it is really beautiful. So Pondicherry, yes, it's stunning. And then Auroville nearby is, again, we've discussed Auroville also earlier, but
Yeah.
it's so peaceful. You just go in there, and the Matru Mandir and the whole area, it's so huge, so vast, and so peaceful. Every time I use incense stick that I bought in Auroville, it transports me back to Pondicherry and Auroville for that brief moment. And when we mention of things to pick up, I think incense sticks and the Auroville shops are quite interesting. They have these little things that are all made there. Everything is made in Auroville. And like knickknacks and food items, incense sticks, small bags, clothes, everything is made there. So I think along with the sightseeing, even shopping for that small thing in Auroville is quite nice. So
I'm
I,
so
I would say,
I'm so glad I brought up Pondicherry, because I know how excited you get when
yeah,
I mention Pondicherry. And
yes.
although it wasn't a destination that I had on my list when I
Mhm,
was preparing for our episode, I was like,
mhm,
okay, like let me just mention it, and then you'll
mhm.
just, like, talk about it, because I remember how great a trip
Yeah.
you had when you were there. But you had a destination on your mind. So now
Yes,
tell us
Neil.
about
So
that.
the third place that we will be visiting, and both of us are going there, is Gujarat,
Oh,
Ahmedabad. We
yes.
will be there very soon. And I'll let you tell the reason why we will be there. But Gujarat has been a revelation to me. I mean, every time I go there, I am surprised at how much there is in the state to do, because it's just endless. And I think I remember 2013 when I went there, I went for the Ran Utsav at that point. Not many people had heard about it. It had just started off with the tents and everything. And, I had to first wrap my head around the idea of the run, right? What is the run? And that it turns into a white desert. How can there be a white desert in Gujarat? And then you realize it's the whole area becomes dry, and because there was water and it is salty, and it's the salt that you see. So it's just amazing to see that and to stay in the tents. It was a really beautiful experience. I enjoyed that quite a lot. So the tent city at Dholdo, and I think the government has done a fabulous job in building that up and creating the whole utsav around the run, because we have to. And at that point, I think Amitabh Bachchan was advertising it, and I think he was probably instrumental in me going there, because it
Hmm.
just seems so appealing. And after that, I can't stop talking about the White Run, because it's really stunning. It's something you should see at least once, because it's like a seasonal thing. It will only happen now in winter. If there is flooding, if there is rain, you're not going to see it the way it is now. So if you want to see something like that, you must go there. And then the entire Kutch area, like with Bhuj and everything, with the food and all of that, is just amazing. Like there is just so much to do out there. And then, when you come closer to Ahmedabad, you have the step wells, or you can go to Patan and Modera, and now the Statue of Unity. So, like we said, again, I have not been to the Statue of Unity. So, that's something that is pending, that is new, that has come up. So, even if you've traveled before, that India is amazing right now, right? Every state you think of, there is a new attraction that has come up that you must go and visit. So, Kevadia, Statue of Unity, all of those. I mean, who doesn't want to see the tallest statue in the world and pay our respects as well when we are there? So, I
You
think
know,
I
I,
think
I
Gujarat
was
is amazing.
two things, like, you
Mhm,
mentioned that we are going there very soon. So of course, listeners, the reason for that is that the people of Gujarat have showered us with so much love over the last decade, that we feel that Veena World has to grow even more, and that's why we are opening multiple offices in Gujarat very soon, and that's why both of us are also going to be there to open Veena World's uh, office in Ahmedabad very soon. So that's one of the reasons. But Sunil, I was just going through
mhm.
all of the departure dates that we have
Yeah.
launched for all of our tours,
Mhm,
and trust me, like, I can see more than 60 departures that we have launched
mhm,
only for Gujarat, and that doesn't include
mhm,
the Run Utsav dates that are there. So
mhm. Yeah.
initially, back in the day, if you recall, 9 years ago or something, we did not have many departures to Gujarat.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
after we launched departures to Gujarat, and after we started doing the
Mhm,
Statue of Unity, the national parks, the Ran Utsav, and all of that, including our women tours and senior citizen tours, people just come back with so much praise for the state, and
Yeah.
people want to do multiple visits to Gujarat because one, it is so close to where we are, like Mumbai or Pune. And then of course people, our guests from Bangalore and Kolkata also want to come because they are like, okay, we've seen the east side of things, we
Yeah.
want to see the west, right? And I feel that just so many departure dates is testament to how much people really want to go, how much it is on people's bucket list. And this is actually a very good thing because Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, of course, next to each other, but offering very different experiences. And one of the great things about this is that you can, even 5 days are enough to do a trip to
Yeah.
Gujarat. Even five
Yeah.
days are enough
Yeah.
to do a trip
Yeah.
to something like
Absolutely.
Madhya Pradesh. So yeah,
Yeah, from like 5 days to 15 days, take your pick. You could be there depending on how much ever time you have. So you don't have to do the whole state in one go. You can go and see one part of it, come back, and then, take your holiday again for the next time. Or if you think you have the time on hand, then go for a really long 15-day trip and see the entire state in one go, because the time and the weather is going to be perfect. Like, Gujarat can be really hot in the summers, but starting now, the weather is going to be so pleasant that it's amazing. And again, Neil, like the other states, I mean, if you had the tigers in Madhya Pradesh, you have the lions in Gujarat. So if you go there, you can go to Gir and visit the lions there, have a chance to see the lions. A lot of religious places, Somnath, Dwarka, Palitana, I can just go on and on. Natural beauty, of course, with Ran and Ran Utsav. You have the city of Ahmedabad, which is also stunning. So I think like and really safe. Like as a women traveler, I feel I found Gujarat, like we were three friends who did run of Kutch, and even after that, we just went off 3, 4 girls, and we did a few places in and around Ahmedabad. We went off on some road trips, so it's really safe. So even like for if you're looking for traveling now as a woman, the Women's Special Gujarat with Statue of Unity is something that comes to my mind, which would be just perfect because now the weather's ideal to be there and you'll really enjoy. And I don't even have to touch the shopping out there in Ahmedabad. You can come back with an entire new wardrobe if you want to. So that is how much shopping you can find in Kutch, Bhuj, Ahmedabad, and everywhere. And of course, food items. You would want to bring back all the sweets, all the food items out there.
And
They're
as
fantastic.
we speak, like the monsoon's not even over and we still
Yeah.
have multiple trips running in Gujarat at the moment. There's one that is in Kevadia today, there's another one that's in Dwarka. The Dwarka one is our highlights of Gujarat product, which is where our tour managers Ganesh Dige and Praneet Joshi are there. I'm just pulling up our reports over here, and there is another trip that is going on with the Statue of Unity included, where our tour managers Amol Patil and Rahul Salvi are there. So of course, I can see the photos from both those trips. So people have already started traveling.
I mean, and this week is Janmashtami, Neil. So, it's an ideal place to be in Dwarka. Like for Krishna's birthday, if you can be in Dwarka, I mean, wow, that will be really special. So that will be very special. So,
okay, now
so
I was just checking the like
how many states have we done?
We've done
Just
spoken about
4,
Rajasthan,
right?
Madhya Pradesh, Kerala. We
And
touched Tamil
Gujarat.
Nadu.
Yeah, briefly.
We've
Well,
done
Pondicherry's, I
yes.
mean, yeah,
It's a
Mahabalipuram, Tamil
UT,
Nadu, but
but yeah, like
UT, fine. Yeah.
where next? Like we still have let's say we still have some time. What would you discuss? Because there is Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh that are always on everyone's bucket list.
Correct.
And as we can see, people's interest on our website and all of the social channels that we have, we can see that those are the most searched terms always. But what else comes to
I
your
think
mind?
I will go to a destination, and I'm sorry, but I realize I say this about every destination I speak because I just get so excited. But honestly, one place that I went 3 times, and which very often people have not visited, and I was there last year to celebrate my birthday, so I was there exactly at this time out there, is Hampi. And I would love to speak about Karnataka and Hampi because that is something you cannot miss. If you have not been to Hampi, then you need to go there like now, right now, you should be out there, and even to all of Karnataka because there's just so much to do. I lived in Bangalore for a year, so I got a chance to go around a little bit. But you don't have to go and live there. You can take a flight. And again, Mysore, Belur, Shravanbegura, Bangalore, Coorg, Uti, coastal Karnataka, and then of course Hampi, Badami, Chikmagalur. So again, you have the coast, you have beaches, you have waterfalls, and the ancient town of Hampi. We've spoken about Hampi too earlier, but from the religious to the historic to heritage to luxury, name it, and it's all there. And Hampi was so much fun. I can go back again to Hampi. Maybe in a few years I'll go back there. But definitely one place that I would suggest. I think you haven't been there, so that should be on your list too, Neil. I don't know what else you've
Yeah.
done in Karnataka. Have you been to some other places in Karnataka?
Not really. Like
Mhm.
it's still on the bucket list. There's
So
yeah.
with the Dasara coming up, maybe Mysore is one place, Neil, that you can consider going to because it is something special out there.
We had done an episode on Mysore Palace.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And you can go there any time of the year. You don't have to go during Dasara, but it is coming up. It's and in fact now the weather is really good. And if you go to Mysore, you must go there in the evening as well because the illuminated palace looks just stunning. It is simply stunning. So that's something that you can't miss, and you have to go there or see that. Also, a place to pick up some wooden toys because Mysore is, that entire part. So um, very often we and sustainability is important right nowadays, so you're trying to stay away from plastic, but this is something that has been going on in India for years and years. So Channapatna is the place which is known as the city of wooden toys, and not only to play, even as a showpiece or a decor item, they look fantastic. So definitely pick up some wooden souvenirs from here when you're there. Sandalwood, there's so much sandalwood out there that you can go in and see that also. And I mean, this is India's place where aerospace is important. So you can visit the HAL Aerospace Museum as well. So
Mm.
it's kind of heritage, but also it tells you the whole history of the aviation industry. So again, these are some places in Karnataka which you should definitely go. You have the national parks and the wildlife here again, so that is also fantastic. And just every place out there. Again, Neil, you can do a long trip and see all of Karnataka, or you can do many different short trips and see coastal Karnataka. I think I would say keep coastal Karnataka as a separate tour because that itself is 8 days, and then see the rest of Karnataka separately. I think that would be a good way to do justice to everything because we are so used to our Udupi restaurants here, right, in Mumbai. But why not visit the place that it all comes from, which is Udupi? And then do the whole Gokarna and Yana. So adventure, those who love adventure should definitely head off to Gokarna and Yana rocks where you can do even rappelling and other stuff along with the pilgrim sites of Shiva. And Karwar, Dandeli. Dandeli again is a great place for rafting and other stuff, wildlife sanctuaries. So I think Karnataka is a great mix of things to do and things to see. So a little bit of adventure, a little bit of history, culture, everything together. So it's fantastic.
Well, I had 6 more places on my list, but we'll
Okay.
leave them for next time
Okay.
because we've done a long episode and we often
Yeah.
try to keep our episode within 45 minutes
Mhm.
because that's how much we feel like, there are so many places that we can go to, but of course we can do. But Sunila, for the next time, the places
Mhm.
that I had on my mind were
Mhm.
Andaman Nicobar Islands. Of course, it's the season
Mhm.
to go there. There's Haridwar, Rishikesh, Nainital, that belt. There is
Mhm.
the living root bridges to see in
Yes.
Meghalaya, right? So the
Yes.
the northeast, Assam, Meghalaya, those were places that I
Mm.
actually wanted to check out. Amritsar is another place that it's
Yes.
great weather, right?
Yeah.
So that was also on my list. And listeners, the reason we decided to do this episode was one, of course, we came out with 3 new products, which was road trips around India. But
Mm.
there were a few of our guests who came to us saying that, okay, we really want to check out Incredible India. So this is like, can you tick off one state at a time for us where we do 5 to 9 day trips
Mm.
and we keep ticking off one state at a time or one union territory at a time. And there are many of our travelers in our community who are actually creating a travel portfolio for themselves where I want to complete all of the
Yeah.
states in India, and I want to complete 100 countries in the world. And that's why so many of our guests are doing all of these. How would you like to end this episode? Because there's a lot that someone
Yeah.
can do. So yeah, like you take it.
I think, Neil, I want to leave one more destination
Okay.
just for people to think. And you mentioned that we can search now in the Veena World website by just putting in the name of the place that you want to visit. And this is probably something, I mean, I'm sure not many people have been here, and this is our new tour in that sense. So I really want to leave people to think about that. And this is again one more thing on my bucket list, which probably I will do next year, and that is Araku Valley. So if you
Okay.
look at the east, Vizag, Dindi, Araku Valley, and Bora Caves, it's a fabulous destination, fantastic tour, because you know my love for coffee and Araku Valley. So one day I was picking up, I think in food hall or something, some coffee, and it says from Araku Valley. And it got me so interested that I actually went and looked up and I said, wow, this place is amazing. And then we decided, why don't we have
That's
a tour here?
Andhra Pradesh,
Andhra,
right?
yes.
Okay.
So we said, oh my God, we don't have a tour here. And actually, when we were looking with the product team at newer things to do, and we came up with the whole Vizag, Bora Caves, Araku Valley, Dindi. It's really something amazing. You should definitely go there. And it's something new. We haven't seen that. So you have the historical Bora Caves, but you also have Dindi, which is the Coconut County, and it's completely fresh, completely new. We haven't discovered it. So definitely look up and search for Araku Valley and look for Vizag and go there and discover something new in India. That would be the
Well, I
best
think
way to see that.
I think that's a great way to finish off the episode, because many among us, including me, would not have had Araku Valley on our bucket list. So this is something that we can research on, we can find out about, and yeah, certainly we can do it. I guess thanks, Sunila, for
Thank
that
you, Neil.
very, I would say, exciting episode, because
Yes.
there's so much that we
Yeah.
discussed, and there are just places that come
And
on the
so much
bucket list
more.
and
Yeah.
go away. So
Yeah.
there's so much more to do. So the next time we'll take another important place and just discuss that one place. But
Yes.
listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to Travel, Explore, Celebrate Life. Of course, this was a long episode, but we feel this was one of our best episodes till date. So thank you so much. Have a great one, and we will see you next week on Travel, Explore, Celebrate Life. Bye-bye.
Bye.